What's going on, everybody? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Happy Friday, and let's dive right into today's video. So we have shared by Cointelegraph related to this alt season index chart. We can see that alt season or altcoin season social media mentions are at multi-year lows. Very interesting. We also know that last month, Ripple the company received a full European Union EMI license in Luxembourg. And why this is relevant is because now Ripple payments can expand throughout the European Union. And just 2 days ago, we got this news, so Ripple to secure an Australian financial services license, expanding payment offerings across the Asian Pacific region. They announced plans to secure this Australian financial services license AFSL. And we're not going to go through this article, but we're going to go through the most important tidbits. I think everybody's familiar with Ripple payments for greater speed, transparency, etc. What's interesting is this: Ripple the company will obtain its AFSL through the proposed acquisition of BC Payments Australia. And this is subject to finalizing the standard completion process. So now when I try to look into BC Payments Australia, I think it's this group. This stands for Banking Circle. So to my knowledge, this is the group BC Payments Australia. If it's not, please let me know down below. Let me zoom in a little bit, and they say right here, we are the Australian presence of Banking Circle, a European bank processing over 1 trillion euros in value annually. So this is a sizable group. We can see services to over 700 plus regulated financial institutions. So coming back to this, we can see with the ASFL, this financial license in place, Ripple Payments can manage the full life cycle of a transaction. From onboarding, compliance through funding, foreign exchange, liquidity management, and final payout, and just integrating both traditional banking and digital assets. This is going to allow Ripple the company to directly oversee settlements, connect customers to local payout partners, and optimize transaction routing, delivering faster time to settlements, greater transparency, and reduced counterparty risk. And something also great to see is that Ripple's APAC payments volume nearly doubled year on year in 2025. We know that Ripple the company has been working with a bunch of leading financial institutions modernizing their payments infrastructure, including Australian customers such as Hi-Ha Money Transfer, Novati Group, and I know we know that group. We have Stables, Caleb & Brown, and they are linked right in the YouTube video description. My favorite OTC broker right there. And feel free to check them out. I've been using them since 2021. We have Flash Payments and Independent Reserve. So the TLDR is that Ripple the company is getting licenses left and right. They're expanding Ripple Payments to be a global solution. Over 75 regulatory licenses. The company's working closely with regulators, policymakers. We can see in initiatives such as Project, I don't know how to say that, Acacia, led by the Reserve Bank of Australia and the Digital Finance Cooperative Research Center. And if you haven't already, please be sure to check out the video I did right before this one because we went through a bunch of information. All related to Ripple Prime doing over $3 trillion annually, but pointing out that they are analogous to CLS in their white paper. And CLS, compared to $3 trillion annually, is doing $1.5 quadrillion annually, and I know that number sounds made up. That's the exact potential that Ripple Prime is actually building settlement infrastructure for digital assets. And why do I say that? Because literally everything is going to be tokenized, from currencies to real-world assets to equities, everything. Hopefully you're able to see this right here. We have over $136 trillion in companies. We have crypto, the asset class, at $2.4 trillion. Peanuts. We have the S&P 500 at $60 trillion. And don't even get me started on a variety of other assets. We could talk derivatives, commodities like gold at 35 trillion. We could go into real estate, bonds, on and on. Alright, next up, I also saw this shared by Zaman Wallet. So we have the XRP ecosystem keeps accelerating. More wallets, more transactions, and more innovative solutions. And despite all of the crazy things happening around the world, including the market crash, we still had over 50,000 new users being onboarded to the XRP ledger with Zaman Wallet this year. So that's still really good to see, and then you can even visit this website directly, xrpscan.com/balances. And I highlighted it in this image, activated accounts on the XRP ledger at 7.6 million. Alright, next up, I'm sure you guys saw this back in October, but this is extremely important because we had an XRP investor lose millions of his XRP. So we had this gentleman, Brandon, and my heart goes out to you, man. I can't imagine the feeling in your stomach when this occurs, and it's a crazy, crazy space. And the lesson here is just always, always diversify. Do not put all of your eggs in one basket or one wallet. So if you want to read more about this is on CoinDesk, and basically this cold wallet told him that if you type a hardware wallet seed into the app, the private keys are saved on your phone or tablet, and it turns that wallet into a hot wallet. And that's the scary thing, because hot wallets are a lot more vulnerable. So again, diversification is the name of the game, whether you use Ledger, Tangent, Decents, use an OTC broker, you use a qualified custodian or leverage iTrust. Diversification is the name of the game. And we know in the crypto space, there are plenty of scams, but one of the biggest reasons that people lose their funds is due to user error, so you have to be so careful. It can happen to any of us at any time. If, you got home late from work, you checked your phone, you could easily fall for a phishing scam. There are SIM swaps, exchange hacks, wallet drains if you accidentally approve the wrong contract. Or even just mistakes of sending your own funds or seed phrase mistakes like this gentleman. And I would say the majority of investors really underestimate how exposed their assets actually are. If you are just with one provider or one wallet, please consider diversifying. And when you diversify, make sure that you're always testing with a microtransaction. Make sure it gets there before you send the rest. And that's why a lot of people, including myself, see huge value in iTrustCapital. Whether you value a Roth IRA for retirement and tax-free growth, or a premium custody account with a closed-loop system, where your funds cannot be hacked and sent somewhere else, they can only be moved between your accounts and your bank account. And friendly reminder, I'm all for cold storage. I do self-custody some of my assets, but diversification is the name of the game. And I recommend for crypto veterans or even new people in the space, if they want simplicity, no headaches, and no worry about having to properly manage their private keys, to start a premium custody account. You have 24/7 trading, you have dozens and dozens of assets, gold and silver, it's just a lot easier. And you can still self-custody your other assets, but it comes with the responsibility of securing those private keys, making sure that your cold wallet's firmware is updated, making sure that you're not connecting to any sketchy dApps, and make sure that you don't lose those private keys, otherwise you're screwed. So for anybody that wants simplicity and a practical solution, I have iTrustCapital linked in the top of the video description and right in my link tree. You can create an account now, you don't even have to fund now, but when you do fund, you get a $100 funding reward, and I've been with them for over 6 years. And I know many people can relate that have been in crypto for years and years, and they self-custody their assets, and during a bull run, or just in general, having to send your assets from a cold wallet to an exchange to be able to buy and sell, and then do it over again. Now, sometimes you can do that right in the app using a dApp, but it's still not perfect, and there is always risk, and it's about limiting that risk. Especially just user error. Alright, let's finish up today's video with this, because this blog came out this month and we have some really interesting predictions for the stablecoin market. According to Citigroup, predicting that stablecoin supply could reach $3.7 trillion by 2030. And that's crazy to think, considering that the stablecoin market cap today is at $315 billion. So they are predicting more than a 10x in the next 4 years. And here are some of the most popular stablecoins ranked by market cap today. We have Tether, USDC, World Liberty Financial, PayPal, the Ripple US dollar, the Euro coin, on and on. So Ripple put this blog out this month going over their end-to-end stablecoin payments platform, discussing that payments have always been crypto's killer application, with the goal being simple, moving money around the world faster, cheaper, and more transparently. As the stablecoin market matures and we have the Genius Act, a federal framework for stablecoins, more value moves on-chain. Ripple Payments is expanding again to bring fiat and digital assets into a single licensed end-to-end platform. So we can see Ripple's unified vision for global payments. So right now today, instead of all of these companies needing separate vendors, maybe one vendor for custody and storage, and then another vendor for liquidity or FX conversion, and then another vendor for payouts. What Ripple the company is doing is handling all of that in a single system. And they say right here, Ripple Payments is a complete end-to-end platform for collecting, holding, exchanging, and paying out all forms of value, whether that be fiat, stablecoins, or other digital assets. They also go over some of their recent strategic acquisitions like Palisade for that wallet-as-a-service infrastructure and Rail. And just like I already said, Ripple payments can collect, hold, exchange, and pay out in minutes instead of waiting for days like we see with Swift. Ripple reduced settlement times from days to minutes, and most importantly, it eliminates manual processes. Everything should be automated. And here's a great infographic or image showing the stablecoin payments landscape today. So we have stablecoin access, whether that be Circle with USDC, the Ripple US dollar, or Tether. We have on and off ramps, including Ripple, Ramp, and MoonPay. We have virtual accounts and wallets. We have Ripple right there. Notice we're in every single box. We have payment processing like Stripe, custody like Fireblocks. Wallet as a service with Ripple now thanks to Palisade. We have BitGo. We have other payment networks and blockchains, including Ethereum, Solana, and the XRP ledger. So we have Ripple payments already live at scale, supporting payouts across over 60 major markets, running on 51 real-time payment rails and backed by over 20 banking partners. Now this prediction, as we already went over by Citigroup, for the stablecoin supply to reach $3.7 trillion by 2030 is crazy. It also makes the point that the stablecoin market is going to be massive, and there's likely going to be more than one winner. Just like the crypto space today, we have the top 10, top 50, etc. And I wouldn't sleep on the Ripple US dollar. Remember, they surpassed over $1 billion in market cap in less than a year since they launched. Over $100 billion in total volume, and Rail adding another $10 billion annually. And let's be real, there's going to be many more acquisitions like we already discussed with that one group, BC Payments Australia. And even Ripple being last valued at $40 billion. And we have a few examples down below of companies already leveraging Ripple payments. So we have this group, Corpay, a global leader in business payments, using Ripple's custody and liquidity tools to instantly fund and settle positions across the Asia Pacific with the Ripple US dollar. And checking out their website, we can see Home Depot, Deloitte, we have DirecTV right there, and they have over 800,000 customers. We have down below MassPay leveraging Ripple to support global payout flows to more than 100 different countries, with several different currencies and plans to expand into stablecoin-funded payouts. And that's definitely coming. And last but not least, we have this company Alfred using Ripple to power stablecoin to fiat flows throughout the United States, Mexico, Colombia, China, and beyond. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. A big thanks to all that hit the like button, and have an awesome weekend. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.